Okay.
All right, y'all help me read the question. The
Top.
top of the desk has a length of 6.4 feet. The length is 4 times its width. What is the width? First, let's read this the right way. This is 6 and
6.4 feet.
6 and 4 tenths of a foot, and this is the width. It says is 4. I'm sorry, the length, which is this amount, is 4 times its width. So to solve this problem, some of you may find it helpful to use a tape diagram. The tape diagram, as usual, stands for the whole amount. And remember, they've already told us the whole amount. The desk length, we know the whole amount of. It is 6 and 4 tenths of a foot. We know that the desk width is just 1/4 of that size. It says that this is 4 times as big as this. Does that make sense so far? Yes. So just one of those would be the desk width. What operation should we do to figure out this portion of it? If we know the whole length, and if we split it into 4 equal sections, we could find out what one of those sections were. What is splitting something up equally? It is dividing. I'm going to write this as long division. You do not have to use long division as your preferred method, but it is mine. This is standard algorithm. What is the most important thing I should do before I start dividing?
Put decimal up there.
Yes, y'all are so right. Also, some of you may need somewhere on your paper to write, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? To remind you, you're going to divide, multiply, subtract, check your work before bringing down the next digit, and that process starts over. So starting with division, how many times does 4 go into 6? 1 time. 4 times 1 is 4.
2.
6 minus 4 is 2. This is the checkpoint. 2 is smaller than 4. If it were bigger, that would have meant that we divided wrong. Bring down your next number. We've started back over. 4 will go into 24. How many times?
8.
It is 6. 4 times 6 is
24.
How do you know you're finished dividing?
Because it's a 0 and there's no other place to go.
Yes, something's above my last digit, and we have subtracted out to 0, which means we don't have to continue the problem. So, we're going to put this 1.6 here. If the desk length is actually made up of 1.6, 1.6, 1.6, and 1.6 feet, and we combined all that for a total of 6.4 feet, the width of it is 1 6/10 of a foot, because it says 4 times this amount equals the length. Alright? The length is 4 times its width. Does that make sense? You also, what could you do in a final step to check your work?
You can
add that.
We could repeatedly add that. Mason, do you have a different way?
I was going to say add.
We could add all this back together and it should equal 6.4. But look at the question. It says the length is 4 times the width. Could we use that statement to check our work?
Yes.
Helen, what was you going to say?
Multiplication.
Yes, and Ty, what were you going to say?
Doesn't when you plus it, don't you have to subtract it?
Not sure.
I have to check your answer.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. You do check your work by using inverse operations. So if it was an addition problem, you could check it with subtraction. If it was subtraction, you check it with addition. So the same thing is true of multiplication and division. If you have divided, you can check your work by multiplication. If you have multiplied, how would you check your work? Division. They're opposites of each other. So I was going to say a quick way to check this is to take the 1 6/10 and multiply times 4, and what should you get?
6.4.
If it matches up. Okay. These are not the exact numbers from your homework, but it is the same problem. You have a desk length, and it goes on to say that the length is 4 times as long as the width. So you're going to have to use division to figure out your width. All right. Thank you, Jacob.